Now, the brand Thameen London has some incredible fragrances, and of course I've covered them a number of times on my channel in the past. In today's Cephalabon contributor video, we are going to be talking about Chords. This is a fantastic honey and tobacco fragrance composed by Natalie Lorson. I'm also going to be sharing with you a very special giveaway opportunity courtesy of Twisted Lily, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on Chords by Thameen London, I'll tell you all about this fragrance, the notes, the smell, the performance, longevity, comparisons, all that good stuff. But before I dive into the video, I do want to mention that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and also please give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. So, if you want to participate in the giveaway and there's a very special giveaway happening, all you have to do is shoot on over to cephalabon.com. It's going to be the first link down below in the description box. And if you've participated in their giveaways in the past, all you need to do is become a registered reader, which you should already be. Just drop a comment on the article. It's a really simple process, and very special thank you to Twisted Lily for hosting this giveaway. And of course, it should be said that if you're interested in sampling this fragrance, you may also do so at Twisted Lily because they do sell samples. So I always am trying to be an advocate of sampling as opposed to blind buying. But let me tell you something. This is tobacco, honey, it's sweet. There's nagarmoda in the dry down, also known as cypriol oil. Of course, you have bergamot, petitgrain, you have a little, not petitgrain, neroli, you have this orange blossom note in here as well. So it's this contrast between like dark, leathery, spicy, tobacco, but a touch of sweetness and almost an animalic side to the fragrance as well. I'm very excited to give you my more comprehensive thoughts as far as the smell is concerned. Let's go ahead and start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. Now, right in the opening of this fragrance, you are going to get this sort of leather, tobacco, and honey combination. Of course, you do have this brightness in the opening on account of all of the citrus that I mentioned earlier. So you do have the neroli, the orange blossom, the bergamot, and it does open up rather fresh, but the freshness doesn't drown out the darkness. Right away, you're gonna get that leather, sort of a cypriol. And whenever I smell cypriol, sometimes it's used in place of agarwood. It can be kind of spicy. There's a dark personality about it as well, but I am getting that honey tobacco combination. And let me tell you something, the honey is so raw, it almost borders on the animalic side of things. This is a super strong, super long lasting, fantastic cold weather fragrance. And of course, now that we're in the spring, if you happen to live in a warmer climate, I would just recommend being a little bit light on the trigger, especially if you plan on wearing this one over the span of the next few months. But that initial freshness on account of all of that citrus is eventually going to die out, and then what you're going to get in its place is that sort of a tobacco, honey, and leather combination. Now, it's not a suede leather, right? So it's not smooth in that sense. There is this sort of rough and tumble nature about it, but it also doesn't smell like Tuscan leather. So I like that it's a new expression of leather, and one that I can't necessarily pinpoint or point back to any other particular fragrance that I've tried in order to try to make sense of it. It's a totally new expression or representation of leather, which, as I'm sure you know, all leather and perfumes is an accord. It's just a combination of other ingredients that are brought together to give the impression of the smell of leather. This stuff is bold, it's daring, it's sophisticated, it is gregarious, it's not afraid to make its presence known, to state its presence. Please try this one if you are a fan of tobacco, honey, leather, dark scents in general. This one is awesome. It's one that's on the heavier side of things, so I would recommend sampling it first. But what an amazing and super long-lasting release from the house of Thameen London. I'm happy to have Chords in my collection. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, this is so far a very unique fragrance. Of course, there are so many other tobacco, honey fragrances on the market, whether it be Virtus by Navitus Parfum, Herod by Parfum de Marly. That combination has been done before many times. To My Father by Wilhelm, but at the end of the day, this one is so different from everything else that I've tried. You have to try it for yourself. It is on the heavier, more daring side of things, so sample it first, right? It doesn't have the mass appeal like something like like Green Pearl by Thameen would have. Longevity, 12 plus hours. Projection, fantastic for the first hour of application. Yes, it did radiate well beyond an arm's length. It became an elbow's length scent right around hour 8 or 9, a skin scent right around hour 12. I mean, this stuff lasts a very long time. Versatility on this one, perfectly unisex, would probably appeal to somebody a little bit older and thus somebody more experienced in dealing with niche fragrances. I would prefer to wear this one in the colder weather, and this is more of a formal rather than a casual fragrance for me. And in terms of the presentation, I love the frosted glass appeal, and you know, Thameen presentations look very, very nice. And because of their cubic bottles, they do look very nice when you have a bunch of them lined up next to one another. My final verdict on this fragrance is, if you're looking for a new expression of tobacco and honey with touches of leather and a dark undercurrent, yes, there's also a ylang-ylang in here. Yes, there are some woods. Yes, there's this verdant undertone, but I chose to focus this review primarily on the ingredients that I get the most strongly in this fragrance. Please try this one out, Chords. It's awesome. Hey, thank you so much for watching. That was my review of Chords by Thameen London. If you enjoyed this video, or if you took anything of value from today's review, and if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, give this video a thumbs up, and participate in the giveaway. Just follow the first link down below in the description box. Thanks again for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode.